Okay, section 2.2, formative quiz on operations of rational numbers in decimal form. I just realized that the second question wasn't a decimal question, but that's all right. We should have whole numbers and integers. A good estimation for this divided by this is 2. Now remember, what we want to do is we want to make it into money so that I can use money and how much money I have divided by pile size. I think of it that way. So I'm going to say I have $1 even. I'm going to round that to roughly $1, which is close. Divided into piles, what size pile is going to be closest to that one that I can think about? 50 cents, correct? I have $1 divided into piles of 50 cents big. Riley, how many piles of 50 cents can I make with $1? 2. So my answer is 2. Then I go back to my signs. Division rules apply. A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So therefore, my estimation is 2, which means true. True dat. The next one was a bad question. It's actually written poorly. I should have made it like this. I should have made it that would have been a better question. That's what I should have wrote. I now realize that was not good because otherwise the exact answer is 8 anyway. So the answer for this, what I would do is I would then translate this to this question. And then I would solve it by saying, do my multiplication first. So -6 plus 2 times -2 is -4. And -6 plus -4 is -10. Is that true or false? False. Right. It's not negative and it's 8. Correct. A good estimation would be -10, not positive. Okay. Question 3, estimate and calculate. So for estimation, we're going to round our estimation. I'm going to say estimation. -4 plus 4. My estimation is going to be 0. My calculation, what do I have more of, positives or negatives? How many more is going to be the difference between my positives and my negatives? How many more positives? I'm going to subtract to find out how many more. Borrow. I get 7. I get 0. I have 0.7 more positives, and therefore, my actual answer, my calculation, CALC, is positive 0.7. Next question, estimation. 1 take away 4 equals -3. That's my estimation. If I keep, flip, change, because that's how I do subtraction, what do I have more of, positives or negatives? Negatives. How many more is the difference between my negatives and my positives? Since I need to put a 0 there to maintain the same number of significant decimals. Borrow, 8, 1, 3. I have this many more negatives, so therefore my calculation is -3.18. Question 4, estimate and calculate, this time multiplication. My estimation will be -4 times 4, which is approximately -16 as an estimation. When you calculate, you drop your decimals, you drop your signs, and you just multiply it using a basic grade 5 algorithm. 2 times 5 is 10. 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 is 7. Second number, second space, add a 0. 4 times 5 is 20, carry the 2. And 4 times 3 is 12, plus 1 is, it's 14. 0, 7, 4, 1. Therefore, our answer, since this was my estimation, my calculation will be -14.7. Or 70 if you want to add the 0. And the last one, -1 times -4 will be my estimation, which will be a +4 as an estimation. Then I'm going to drop my decimals, drop my negative signs, multiply them. 2 times 2 is 4, 2 times 0 is 0, 2 times 1 is 2. Second number, second square, 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 0 is 0, 4. Add them up. Since my estimation was +4, my calculation is 4.284. Thank you, Riley. Estimate only. Yep. So the next one, again, this is how much money you have. Money you have. Money you have. And pile size. So you have $1 divided into piles of, what am I going to make this? A quarter. I have $1 divided into piles of quarters. How many piles can I make? 4. Will it be a +4 or a -4? Negative divided by negative is a positive. Therefore, my estimation is +4. That's all you have to do. No calculator required. Okay. Yeah, you could physically draw it if you want. This one here, I'm going to make this into $5 divided into piles of -dollars, or just $1. We have to ignore the signs. I have $5 divided into piles of $1. How many piles can I make? I can make 5. Actually, if you wanted to do it this way, you could have made it if you were real smart. I have $4.80 divided into piles of $1.20. Therefore, my estimation would be 4. I can make exactly 4 piles, depending on how accurate you can be with your estimations. 5 is fine. 4 is fine. Both are good estimations, depending on what you make. You could do $1.25 and 5, which would be 4 piles as well. Correct. Negative. -4. That's right. So my estimation. Sorry. Thank you. I have to go back and check my signs. Negative. And our last two questions. This one is bed mass. So when you have bed mass, make sure you follow bed mass. You have to do BED. Step 1 is brackets. Step 2 is exponents, which we haven't learned yet. Step 3 is division multiplication. Step 4 is addition subtraction. There are no brackets. There are no exponents, but there is division and multiplication. So the first thing I'm going to do, $1.25 times 4. I should be able to do these in my head. $1 times 4 is $4. 25 cents times 4 is $1. Therefore, this is going to be -5. And then -2.5 plus -5 is -7.5. That's my calculation without the use of a calculator. Think money, it makes sense. Question B, we have multiplication, addition, multiplication. I'll do my multiplications first. $2.25 times 8 is $18. So -18 plus $1.75 times 2 is going to be -$3.50, or -3.5. I'm adding together negatives with negatives. My final answer, -21.5. No, you just have negatives, don't you? It's okay. Listen. And our last question says, what is the mean, or is this the second last question? Last one. What is the mean average set of these numbers? So we know that the most important thing that you can do is show me that you are adding up the numbers together. Oh my God, this is a long set of numbers. Who made this question up? Oh my God, he's a big jerk. Yeah, I guess I did. Divided by, how many numbers are there? 10. So on your test, when you have this question, that's how I want you to show it. 2 things. You have to include 0. It's important that you include 0, even though in the addition it won't be necessary. And if you're adding together a negative, please make sure you keep it in brackets. Now here's how I solve it without a calculator. I want you to pay attention. I'm going to do all my negatives first. -4.2 and -0.5 is -4.7. -4.7, and that is -5.5. -13.5, -13.6. I'm going to make a note of that, -13.6. Those are my negatives. Combined with my positives, 5, 8.8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 23. So really I'm going to add 23 to this. I'm going to combine those and divide it by 10. I'm just adding it up like that. It's going to be 9.4 over 10. Is that right? I think that's what it works out to be. And then when you divide by 10, the easiest thing is dividing by 10 is you just move your decimal one place over. So therefore, the average is -0.94. Now, you can use a calculator for this if you have to. No big deal. If you use a calculator, you do it by your head. Calculator's fine. Calculator's fine. Calculator's fine. But if you like to, if you're in the upper mental math echelon, you want to really challenge yourself, try doing it the way I did. Add your negatives first, add your positives second. Combine just those two, makes a lot more sense.